back in 2014, if you happen to have been in the BRIC House Ballroom any night between April 24th and 27th, you were fortunate enough to have witnessed Cassandra, a work in progress, inspired by the Greek myth of the cursed seer Cassandra. Now, the title character was embodied by the multifaceted performer Helga Davis.
Well, not one to rest on her laurels, Miss Davis is lending her considerable talents to Requiem for a Tuesday, a concert at National Sawdust in Williamsburg, an artist-led nonprofit venue for exploration and discovery. There, she'll be co-hosting and performing in a concert that takes the form of a ceremony. Miss Helga Davis, welcome back to BK Live.
Great to see you again.
Thank
it is
you.
so great to be back in this building.
Yeah.
Really, really great.
Okay, you know, I just have to say it, but whenever I do see you out and about, whether it's you're, conducting a discussion, you're on stage, you just have so much presence and grace about you. So it truly is an honor to have you back here.
Well, I thank you very, very much for that. And I think part of what is what's happening and what's exciting is that I'm doing so many things that I absolutely love, that require all of my energy, all of my life force, all of my attention. Mm-hmm. And Requiem for a Tuesday is absolutely one of those pieces. It came about as a response to all of the killing that's been happening in the African American community. And I was sad. I was sad, and part of my heart felt broken. And I said, well, okay, we know what they're doing. Well, what are you doing? And I think part of what happens also is that we can feel that, well, I don't do anything. I mend shoes. I work at the post office. I'm a singer. I can't do anything. I can't affect any real change. I vote and I feel that my vote doesn't count for anything. And I thought, well, what if that isn't true? What if what is true is that I'm a singer and I can write a piece of music, I can sing that piece of music, I can gather people around me to find a way and to make a container to hold that sadness, to hold the anger, to hold the disappointment, and give us the opportunity to have a little bit of distance to see what our next steps might be. And that's really how this piece came about.
Something born out of tragedy. You know, yesterday in this seat, there was a woman who watched a mass shooting 20 years ago and cried for 6 days. And when she was done crying, she used where she was as a suburban housewife to move forward and make some change in her community. A few months later, 1 million women marched on Washington, right. 1 million mom march. So just using what you have where you are. If you don't happen to be a person who has that obvious stage, if you are that person who repairs shoes or works at the post office.
There is something.
Yeah, what's that impetus you think that can give you that nudge from being in your feelings to going out and using whatever it is that you have to find like-minded people to get over that hump?
What I think is interesting is that we think that the solution to that thing is somewhere else, right? So I want to help communities of color.
Yeah.
Well,
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Walk outside your door. I guarantee you, between your home and the subway, your home and the taxi, your home and whatever, that there is a person, there's a situation that if you are really looking for it, if you are really making it you're making a commitment to affect change, it's there. It isn't somewhere else. It's right next to you. And that's been a very, very powerful thing, because then of course you open your mouth and then life will bring you every person and every opportunity to step into and say, well, yes, I'm here.
Just crack that window.
Just crack the window.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about, opening your mouth and speaking to the universe. So, it brings me to, say her name. Can you tell us how Sandra Bland sort of relates to this performance?
Sing Her Name was an evening put together by a woman called Un Lee, who is the director and founder of the Dream Unfinished Orchestra. I met Un at a performance in the Temple of Dander at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. After I went, what was I hearing? Requiem for the End of the World. Okay. I went, I had a great seat, and I sat down, and two women leaned over, and they said, "How come you get to sit there?"
That's unexpected.
And I was raised properly.
All right.
I didn't lash out, but I was angry. And I thought, how dare you? Why shouldn't I get to sit here?
And then out loud you said.
And then out loud, I said, because I do. And I turned around and I began to listen to the performance. And again, in that place, try and find in this music an opportunity for healing. After the concert, my colleague at WQXR, Terrence McKnight, introduces me to this person, and I tell her the story. And she says, "I think you would be the perfect person to be part of the program that we're putting together to celebrate the Women in the Black Lives Matter movement."
Yeah.
Like that. It was that simple.
See.
So it isn't, again, it's not only having the intention to act, but it is also speaking out loud to someone, taking the chance of, and risking your vulnerability in a moment with another person who then engages you not only in your place of anger and fear, but in your place of action.
Yep.
And so that's how I became part of that piece. And Courtney Bryan was commissioned, Courtney Bryan and Sharon Strange were commissioned to work on this piece together. And after I read Sharon's poem, I sat next to Courtney Bryan on the piano bench, and we worked it out.
And it expands.
And it expanded, and it is one of the most powerful things I've done with my life, not just with my work, but with my life. And that feels very, very, very important. And the piece is beautiful for many reasons, not only musically, but because the poem is interested in the complexity of the human relationship. So the first line of the piece is, what did he see that prompted such rage?
So the people at National Sawdust are going to kill us if we don't get to their events.
And so what's great
Yeah.
is that piece was commissioned for
And Ken,
that
it
evening.
expands and expands.
And then I said, Courtney, you've got to write a reduction of the piece. We need to be able to do this in as many ways as we possibly can. And so right now, she's working on a reduction of the piece for piano, for jazz trio, for string quartet. And that will be part of the evening at National Sawdust. So a lot of good things happen with me in
Well,
Brooklyn.
we're going to have to cut you off
Okay.
right there, and we're going to have to catch up with you in 10 days.
Excellent. Looking forward to that.
National Sawdust in Williamsburg. Check
October
their
1st,
website.
7
October
p.m.
1st. There's a countdown on their website. So go there, get yourself some tickets, and we'll see you there.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Great being here.
Thank you.